Back in February, before all the craziness of COVID happened, I was able to go to Hawaii. I got to do a little bit of hiking, take some photos, hang out with my friend Andy who lives there. Got to meet some of the locals, but of course I also had to do some mountain biking. So I found a local shop called The Bike Shop in Honolulu and rented a carbon specialized Stumpjumper. I decided to ride the Ohana Trail, which is about 4 miles long. I hadn't been on a bike in about 14 weeks. Back in November, I had fallen to the pump track and separated my shoulder. So this was literally the first time back on a bike in a while. Also, it was an unfamiliar bike, unfamiliar terrain. It's wetter than I'm used to riding, so I decided to try and keep everything a little easier and keep the ride kind of short. I apologize for the rattling. I had the GoPro mounted to the bars, as you can see right there. I wish I could say it goes away entirely. It does not. You can hear it here. I try to keep the volume a little lower on it so that it's not a constant annoyance. These conditions were a little wetter than I'm used to, but it rains pretty much every single day in Hawaii, so you can't really wait until it's completely dry. I really have to hand it to the people that built this trail. There were a lot of berms that were in really good shape. I just wish I was a better rider so that I could do them justice. I'm definitely still working on turns. These berms were really in great shape and looked like a lot of fun. I tried to ride them as best I could, but to be honest, I was mostly winging it through here on those. Having just come from New Jersey in the middle of winter, it was definitely pretty striking how green everything was and how crazy different the environment is to what I'm used to. Here's a pretty perfect example of my mediocre riding skills. My weight wasn't balanced enough on that turn, so my front wheel completely slipped out. I was lucky enough that I was able to run away from it. Here's another one of those well-manicured berms that leads nicely into a pretty fun downhill. And apparently putting the bike down gave me some sort of a confidence, so I was able to hit a jump and hit this downhill with a little bit of speed. Still pretty timid on a lot of those turns. I was about to hit the one at the end of this straightaway, but it leads into what was a pretty unexpected but really cool view. It struck me a few times how quickly the entire environment changed while I was riding this trail. I'm so used to riding in North Jersey, which is just full of rock gardens wherever you go, that this kind of flow is not something I'm used to in any way. starting to get towards the end of the trail now. A little bit tighter, a little bit flatter. The upper part of the second half was definitely the more fun, flowy part. Coming towards the end of the trail now, you can see the road in front. You can take the trail the other direction on the way back, but I was a little tired, so I opted for the road.
Sweet.
On the road on the way back, I decided to work on manuals a little bit. Obviously, I'm not very good at them, but after a few tries, I did actually get a halfway decent one. So of course I went back to the beginning part of the trail to try and film one last clip. And within the first 10 feet I get a puncture.
No shit. Huh. Oh well.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.